Most of us are trying to solve problems that can't be solved, and the more we think about them, the more stuck we become. That's because some parts of our lives aren't resolved through more insight or greater clarity. They actually require a completely different response. Dorothy Sayers, she called this the difference between the detective mindset and the artistic mindset. The detective, he hunts for clues, believing that every problem has a solution and it's just waiting to be discovered. But the artist knows that some things, they just can't be solved. They can only be made into new things. This mental shift changed how I approached so much of my life. I think that the detective mindset is our default. We lie awake, replaying conversations, analyzing decisions, asking what we could have done differently. We read books, looking for frameworks. We journal, looking for patterns. We treat our pain like a puzzle, convinced that if we just think hard enough, the pieces will just all click into place. But some things just don't click. You can't, for example, think your way out of grief. There's not a spreadsheet that repairs broken relationships, and there's not a 5-step process that erases loss. Sayers' point really is simple. Life is not a detective novel, and when we treat it like one, we get stuck in a loop of analysis that never really resolves anything. The artistic mindset, however, offers a different path, a different way of thinking about our lives. Instead of trying to solve problems, let's make something new from them. This is what highly creative people already do. Many of the best creative works come from artists wrestling with things they just couldn't fix: grief, heartbreak, confusion. The artistic response isn't to analyze until you find an answer, it's to channel what you're experiencing into something new. A song, a painting, a story, a meal, a conversation. And somehow the act of creation brings a kind of healing that analysis never could, not just to the artist, but to everyone who encounters the work. This artistic mindset isn't limited to artists, painters, and songwriters. Entrepreneurs actually already operate the same way too. The entrepreneurial response to the problems in the world is actually creation. They create a business, they create a service, they create a product. Most companies exist because someone out there encountered a problem that they couldn't solve, and so they built something to address that problem. They created something new. Parents do this too. When you can't fix what's going on in your kid and you can't solve the problem, a lot of times the solution is to create some new rhythms, to create new traditions, to create new ways of being present with one another. Friends can do this. When someone you love is hurting, and you can't really take that pain away, what do? We make something. We make a meal. We make a note. We plan new times to go and hang out. The artistic mindset isn't about just being a professional creative. It's about responding to life by making rather than just analyzing and overthinking and treating life again like it's a detective novel to be figured out. There's a reason why this instinct runs so deep in us and why the artistic mindset is really a good one to embrace and to adopt. In Revelation, God says, "Behold, I am making all things new." When God looks at a broken world, his response is creation. And when we make new things from our problems, we're participating in that same work. We're joining God in renewal. James 1 also says to count it joy when you meet trials because testing produces steadfastness. I want you to notice that the trial isn't just something to endure, it's actually producing something new in us. Whenever we face trials, that's what God does. He uses all things that we encounter to make new things in us, to produce new things. There's a guy by the name of A.D. Lindsley who observed that the difference between ordinary people and saints isn't that the saints fulfill duties others neglect. That's a fancy way for saying saints aren't saints just because they are more moral than everyone else. The things saints do usually haven't occurred to ordinary people at all. Gracious conduct, he says, is like the work of an artist. It requires imagination. It's not choosing between presented alternatives, but creating something new. Now, let me just explain to you what that means, because it's kind of a lot. What it means is that we tend to think of godliness as avoiding bad things and staying away from darkness, for example. But that's so incomplete to the point of just being downright misleading. True goodness isn't the absence of bad things only. It's actually the presence of something new. light doesn't just avoid darkness, light pushes against the darkness. And so godliness and sainthood, leaning into the things of God, actually requires us to move forward in new good works, thinking to do things that ordinary people wouldn't think to do at all, because we have the mindset of making new things. So the point I'm trying to make is that it's not just artists, entrepreneurs, and parents who have this artistic mindset. Actually, I'm convinced that having an artistic mindset when it comes to our lives, having a bent towards making new things as opposed to always just trying to, solve things analytically in our lives, is actually a godly mindset. It's something that Christians do. In the power of the Holy Spirit and in an attempt to be more like God, we as Christians are seeking to make new things in the midst of a sinful and broken world. Okay, but this channel is for artists and creatives. And so if you're a creative and you're watching this, what I want you to know is that your creative work matters, even when no one sees it. Your instinct to make new things is actually participating in something really sacred. If you're an entrepreneur, though, too, I want you to know that you're responding to the problems in the world the way that God does, by building new things. If you're facing something right now that just feels unsolvable, some situation that won't resolve no matter what, no matter how much you analyze it, the path forward for you might not be more thinking. It actually might be to go out and to make something new from it. That's really the heart of what I'm doing here on this channel. I really want to fan the flames of your instinct to create, to help you see that making new things isn't an escape from problems. It's actually one of the truest responses to them. Thanks for joining me in this video. My name is Jonathan, and my channel is called Make Something New, because that's really what I hope to do. I hope to encourage you to make new things, to continue to give you mindset tools, biblical mindset tools even, that help bolster and fan the flames of your best creative work. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you want more videos like that, videos that could even help you figure out what it looks like to create, figure out what it looks like to share your creative work, and to just wrestle through all of the things that comes along with being a creative and being a Christian creative, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.